Hey, hello everyone, and thanks for coming to this special hangout today. This Wednesday, we got Lee Oki here, and my name is Mike Lucas with the Leaf Superstars. I see some names of people I have recognized. Hello, everyone, and Lee, are you there? I see your picture. We got good sound.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me loud and clear, Mike. So let me know
Awesome,
that you
Lee.
can.
So I'm going to lock on you, and why don't you lead us down the path for today's hangout? Okay?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Michael. Well, hi everybody. It's good to be back. It's been a while, and it's nice to be back on a Hangout forum. I think I shall just maybe start off and chat a little bit, and I'll just turn my phone down to mute so that there's going to bug you. I thought I'd just maybe start off before we get into the nitty-gritty of what's happened this week within Leaf, and it's all very exciting news. It just give you a little bit of background as to what's been going on over the past weeks or so. Let's just kill my phone off here, and then we'll have some peace and quiet. There we go. As most of you are aware, I've been a little bit distant from really talking about Leaf specifically, mainly because I think what we wanted to try and do was to get a good indication and understanding of what direction the company is going in. I'm just looking at people joining us. And I think, you know, most of us that are on the call, and I'm sure some of you here that are here for the first time this evening, looking at some of the names coming in, obviously been with Leafit for some considerable time, and probably felt very similarly to the likes of Mike and myself, and maybe even some of the original co-founders of the company. And without wanting to start off on a negative foot, because that's not my intention at all, I want to be realistic and just really explain that it's very, very difficult to do two things. One is to encourage somebody else to get involved in a business opportunity if genuinely or you know, you as an individual that's talking to another party cannot speak with complete confidence that you're going to get paid on time and that you know exactly the direction that the company is taking. And secondly, it's very, very difficult, or I probably would go as far as to say impossible, to grow a business and market a business unless you've got enough revenue coming back from that business to cover your costs. You can't do it on a loss because it's a downward spiral. And I think for the past few weeks or months, probably as far as that is concerned, it's been impossible to actually tick both those boxes and be confident about growing the business and spending money to do so. However, Mr. Lucas, that has now all changed.
Yes,
And
it
at
has.
long last, we've got, I think, what we've been asking for. Michael, who's here and very kindly invited me today, myself and many, many others have been pounding the doors of corporate and saying, look, we've got to have a pay plan that will enable us to go out and take 20 bucks out of our own pocket or 50 bucks out of our own pocket and spend that on marketing through whatever source you want to spend it on, knowing that you're going to get a result and that result is going to pay you more than you're spending. Would you agree with that, Mr. Lucas?
Yes, and another aspect is they always say, and it's true in network marketing, in any business, time is money. When you can go spend 5 hours and you know you look at the results and you've got a few people, but cash flow wise it's kind of disappointing, or you know you're looking, and I always believed in the model, but it was a year down the road before you see return. That's hard to convince new people that it's worthwhile. And now with the new model, it is truly very exciting. You know, and I won't lie, I've been negative on their current model. I've been screaming at them for 6 months, and finally the voices in the wilderness are being heard, and the internet marketers are getting the tools, the systems, the comp plan, complete turnaround, and hallelujah.
Yeah, absolutely, hallelujah. And we're going to go through that and have a look at the specifics that were announced on the Monday night US call. I know Anna's very kindly already recorded it, posted it in the Leaf Superstars group, but I think there's a number of questions that some of you may have. We'll try and deal with those questions today. But the bottom line is that the business now with the new comp plan is very, very attractive, to say the least, and it's now giving us all an opportunity to go back and revisit the people that we originally had in the business that maybe had lost some patience and now moved on, and start to re-engage with those individuals, show them exactly what is now on the table, and it is quite significant. The biggest thing for me is it's rapid, Mike. It means that if you do something today and speak to somebody today, providing it's before a Tuesday cutoff, you're paid on Friday.
You are paid for your work quickly, and I know for a lot of people in the industry today, years ago you had to wait a month or 2 months, but the industry has changed, and people expect to see that, and thankfully Leaf has been able to come up with a plan that is able to do that now, so that's a huge plus.
Mike, let me just sort my power issue out because it looks as if I'm losing power here, and I don't want to. Oh, there we go. We're back on. It's I had a power blip for a moment, and suddenly I didn't want to disappear running on low battery, so we're good now.
Okay.
Okay. The gremlins in the woodwork. It always seems to be something. So what I thought maybe we want to start by doing, Mike, I don't know whether you're able to bring up the slides.
I can, and you can walk. Yes, I'll share it, and you can walk them through that. We'll start with the first one, and we'll see. Make sure you can see it. Let me just slide to the top here, and we'll go from here. Can you see my screen, Lee?
I can. Yeah, I can see it.
That means everyone can see it. So, okay,
right.
We'll go with obviously everyone is familiar with the income disclosure statement. So now you want to briefly touch on this, or just get to the meat and potatoes?
I'll pick it up from here.
Okay.
I think the important thing to understand now is that without it seeming overly complicated, there is a very, very simple 4 ways that you can earn money within Leaf. 3 I would say are absolutely critical. The 4th, as and when the app is launched, which you see on there, the 9 generation. Generation refers to levels, so 9 levels or 9 generations of e-commerce sales. I'm not saying that's irrelevant, but I would just park that one to one side at the moment because that's very much about the rollout of the app and then sales, e-commerce sales taking place on the app, and of course then you benefiting from that. But we will touch on that as we go through the slides. A couple of comments coming in. Steve, I presume that's Steve Kuntrich saying he can't see the screen. Keith is saying he can't see the screen, Mike. So
okay, well, there is about a 30 to 45 second lag with Hangouts, so you'll see it, and then they'll be able to basically see it here in about 30-40 seconds.
Well, I'm going to just do my usual preamble.
Yes,
then.
It will go and tie with you, so they'll hear us here shortly what you're saying.
Okay, well, maybe Keith or the likes of, once you can see the screen, guys. Mr. Chapman, nice to see you here messaging in there. It'd be nice we catch up. Just let's just hold on, and I'll keep talking for a moment until you guys confirm you can actually see the screen. I think what I really want to say, I guess, from my usual enthusiastic point of view, is that the way I'm looking at Leaf today, once we heard the announcement on Monday, and I've spoken to Lawrence Sowell, I've spoken to Mike's sponsor, Billy Morland, I've spoken to Ron Paul, who's now heading up the marketing strategies within Leaf, is I'm treating this as a completely new approach. It's a new game. We know what the company's about. We know the app that we've been beta testing, that it's about to be launched, and we can go into a bit more detail on that. But what I'm looking at this now is that this is effectively starting from scratch. This is giving you an opportunity where, don't think from that comment that you're losing your place in the matrix. That's not what I mean. I mean it's a new game for everybody where you can suddenly see the money that's on the table and how you can very, very easily grow this to something very substantial very quickly, not by being a genius marketer online, by simply going out and introducing Leaf to 5 people. Now, I believe, and Mike and I had a conversation about this a couple of days ago, I believe everybody can introduce it to 5 people when you've got a free app to give away and then explain the at-home business concept. I think that's very, very straightforward. Mike, your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I muted myself here. Yes,
right.
It's true. You can go out there. So many people have a lot of other products, I like to call it. You go out there, whether it's a weight loss energy drink or a gadget, a tool, you got to go out there and sell someone on the ideal that they need it, that they need to consume it, that they need to use it. And a lot of times, quite honestly, they don't need it. They really don't need it, and you got to convince them that they have to use it for some reason. And most people are not very good salespeople, and they hate selling their friends anything. They absolutely despise selling their friends. They go out there trying to make some money. So before they even go, they hate knocking on the door. With Leafit, we have something that people are using every day. It's the microwave of the internet, social media. Everyone uses social media in some ways, in some form, and in some degree, maybe once a week, maybe once every few weeks, maybe 6 hours a day. But everyone uses social media, and everybody has a camera because a camera now is on the cell phone. So when you put those two things together, I think it's just now sharing this with people. It's truly just sharing this with people, and you can engage people in conversation about this.
Yeah, I mean, my approach is going to be, and we're talking about now maybe a fresh start, but my approach is simply going to be, obviously, if you're talking to somebody that understands networking, then you're going to talk about the business. But in the main, you've got a phenomenal free app that you're going to be able to give away. They've got an opportunity, as you see on screen there, of generating 9 levels of income of e-commerce, which we'll look at a more detailed slide in a second, just from that free app. So what's it cost to join? Absolutely nothing. It's free. You can download the free app. You can start to make money by taking your pictures, tagging, etc., etc. And away you go. Now, if you follow up with that person, maybe 2 days later, 3 days later, and they're starting to use the app, you know, I don't think now that anybody in their right mind, once they're starting to play with that, wouldn't want to get involved in the other side of the business, which, you know, we'll start to go through some of the costs. I think everybody can see the screens now, Mike, so let's move on to the next slide, if we can. And we'll just start to touch on the 4 levels of payment. So this one here gives you an indication of what you're getting for your money. As you probably heard, if you've watched the video that Anna kindly posted within the group, the changes are now that the monthly subscription is going up to $49, and there is going to be a one-off lifetime registration or startup fee of $149. So if you want to come in, it's got nothing to do with the app. The app is still free to download from the various stores that you'll be able to get it from. But if you wish to start in the business, it's $149 to get started in your own at-home business, and then ongoing from there, it's $49 per month as your builder package. Now,
Lee, I'm on the sales support page.
That's fine. That's fine, Mike.
Okay.
We'll drop forward from there.
Okay.
Now, you know, I don't believe $149 is a significant amount of money. The reason it's been done and the reason it's been increased is because they wanted to be in a position to pay some of that money back straight to you very, very quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean within the week. So they've had to build in a factor, build in a sum that if you go out of your way and you talk to Bob and you explain the business concept to Bob, and Bob pays at $149, a large chunk of that, and I'll go into specifics now on the next slide, which you can move on to, Mike. The large chunk of that is coming back to you. So let's just take a look at this. This is what you can call this a number of things. You can call this 9 generation or 9 level, uni level. You can call it fast start bonus if you want to. But the Leafs terminology is going to be uni-level, and this is how it works. It's very simple. You can see it on screen. If you introduce one person who joins as an associate, that means they pay their $149 to join Leaf. That means they register a lifetime membership to join the business. Then you will receive a $50 immediate payment, and by immediate I mean providing it is, there's the cutoff you can see on the slide, Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, you will be paid that Friday. Now that is a huge change. For me, from a marketing point of view, I know I can go out and spend money on solo ads or various different forms of marketing, knowing full well that providing my conversion rates, if I'm using my own sales funnel, I know a lot of you have got that, and I get somebody that wants to join, I'm going to get $50 ready and available within my Leaf account on Friday. Now, if that person then goes on and you see on second generation, second level, let's say that person's name is Bob, we'll use Bob again, Bob goes out and talks to Peter, not only is Bob going to receive the $50 for Peter registering and joining the business, but I'm going to get 10 because Peter is on my second level, and so on down the line. You can see it goes 50, 10, 5, and then 3 on down 9 levels. This runs on 9 levels in the same way that the matrix does as well. The only thing that changes is your qualification. You need to have 3 personals, i.e. 3 people that you've introduced to the business to qualify to level 6, as you can see, and 5 personals to get all 9 levels. Hopefully that was fairly clear, Mike. Hopefully you could understand it, and if you can, then everybody can.
And
now,
there's some, yeah, you wanted just a slight change in the matrix, so.
Yeah, the change in the matrix, I think, is a big step forward. I mean, I think the problem with the matrix was it was round the wrong way. Those of you that are familiar with it, you'll be aware that what we had was we had $5 being paid out on level 1 and then $2 thereafter. And what everybody had said was, well, I can go out of my way, I can put a lot of time and effort into talking to people. And we had the very thing we were talking about just before the hangout, Mike, where we were saying that people were holding hotel meetings. I know Estelle's on the call. She does a lot of meetings. And you know that when you leave that meeting after maybe putting 2 hours of your time and effort into it, you've received, maybe for people that have joined, $2. It just doesn't cut it. It's not enough to get inspired, and it's certainly not enough to spend money on hiring a room in a hotel or marketing the business at $2 a time. So the aim and the change on the matrix, I know, was very much focused on about getting people to a break-even point monthly as quickly as possible. What do I mean by that? Well, very simply, you'll see now you're getting paid $5 on level 2, and on level 2 you can have 9 people. It's a 3 by 3 by 3 as you run down. So in other words, if you introduce 3 people on level 1 in your matrix, or they're in there on level 1 on your matrix, and then you get another 9 on level 2, you're at $51, as it says there on the right-hand column of your accumulative total. So $51 puts you $2 in profit on your monthly builder package. So very quickly, you're in profit from the matrix, and you've got a 0 spend on a month-by-month basis.
And that's huge. Psychologically, to a lot of people, that is huge.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think, if people are going to come in and they want to know that they're not going to have to find, I know there's one particular person that's in the UK that's backed out recently because they couldn't afford to keep spending the $40 as it is today, but on the 2nd of August it's going to be $49. You can't afford to keep spending that out if you don't see a return coming back in. So the aim from this is, if we think about what we've already covered with the uni level, mention it to one person, they join, you've got $50 immediately. Well, that puts you in good standing to start to recover. So in other words, introduce 3 and you've got your initial $149 registration back. Those of you that are already registered, you're not going to have to pay the $149. So in case that question comes up, that is not the case. But you will have to start paying $49 from the 2nd of August going forward. Next slide, Mike. Now the check match, this is the third way of generating a very significant income. Now the check match, to be clear, is based on the uni level chart. So in other words, you can receive an ongoing check match, and what a check match simply means is that you will receive a check or a payment into your account from people that you are qualified to receive as they generate their own income from the matrix. Now, you just need to open your mind up a little bit to that, but very simply what that means is you've no idea who you're going to bring into the business. It might be somebody that introduces 3 people, it might be somebody that introduces 300 people. Now, you are then going to start to get paid on a managerial or ranked basis. As you can see down the left-hand chart, they've given them names: manager, director, senior director, executive, and senior executive. Now, what I can tell you just on those is that Leaf haven't come up with anything completely unique here. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They've gone out and spoken to a lot of the top leaders in the business, and everybody came back without exception and said, you need to bring a check match into this compensation plan. So very simply, we can break it down. What it means is that if you have one personal referral or somebody that you've introduced to the business, you will be called a manager. Your team volume, it says there on that first line, is 600 points. Now, how do you accrue points? Well, you accrue points. You get 1 point for every dollar that somebody in your uni level has spent on their builder package. So in other words, if you've introduced one person to Leaf, they've spent $49, you've got 49 points that month. Okay? If in your uni level levels, there's a mouthful, but if you go back to the uni level and just go through the 9 levels that you've got there, the check match and the uni level chart are linked together. So as you've got people joining and you're getting paid obviously from your uni level, so your points are increasing in the check match. In other words, 600 points as you need one personal referral, 600 points, that's 12 people that you would need to have that are qualified within your uni level, and you'll receive 5% of everything that those 12 people are earning from the matrix payments monthly.
Lee, I have a question on that, and I know this has been asked by people in my group. So does that mean you need one personal or 12 personals?
No, it means you need one personal.
And if they have 11 people in their downline, you're qualified.
Correct. So you are only required to go out and find one personal individual that's you've personally introduced to Leaf, and then in turn, when you compare it with or draw a comparison with your uni-level matrix or uni-level chart, as those people, that one person then starts to go on, you're going to need to have 12 people obviously below you. You've got to hit that team volume of 600. That's 12 people times $49 gives you 600. You're then entitled to 5% on that first level.
So, using your example, Jeremy, you brought in Jeremy. You shared with Jeremy has 12 people that are paying you. That would be good for you, correct?
Well, you're going. Yeah, it'd be good for your qualification at 600, but you'll get paid. You'll only get paid now you've qualified using Jeremy's people. You'll only going to get paid on level 1, as it said. It's 5%.
5% of what Jeremy gets.
Correct. Absolutely right. So if you then go on to the next one, director status, and I think that says 5. It's fairly small on my screen.
Yes, it is 5.
Great. So you then have now introduced 5 people to the business, and you need to have 1,600 as a team
15.
volume. Is that 1,500?
Yeah,
thanks,
that's
Mike.
15.
So 1,500 divided by 49, it comes from your builder's package each month, is roughly 31 people. So 31 people below you coming from the 5 personal referrals who then gone out and then introduced. That's not many. 5 times 5 gives you 25 to start with. And you're now entitled, 2 of them have got to be managers, i.e. 2 of them have got to have introduced at least one person and have that team volume of 600 each. And now you're qualified for 6%, I believe it says, on level 1 and 5% on level 2. Now, where I get really excited with this, Mike, and this is a new game changer here, is when you start to go down the levels and you look at having made 20 introductions, personal introductions, and you've got a $200,000 team volume. Now, that sounds a lot, but if you divide that up again by 49 just to lower the figures, you've obviously suddenly getting into the realms of being in a position to generate 10% on all 5 generations or all 5 levels of the check match.
Well,
now,
yeah, and I'd like to say, I've been involved in companies that had check matches, but it's been for people who have been so far that the average person just will never even come close to getting the check match. And I got to give it to Leafit. They've came up with a plan here that you can get it pretty much from day one.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. If you look at the senior director position, Mike, where you only have got to have introduced 10 people.
Oh,
I believe most people now with a free app giveaway can find 10 people. We were talking about this last week, mate. That's a yardstick that I think we've set everybody out and said, look, you will be able to go out, show them the app, it's free, and you will, maybe not in the first week, but you will have 10 personal referrals that you've introduced who have become associates. Now, going down from them, you can see there very quickly, there only needs to be 102 people below those 10 in total. and you've got 7% on level 1, 6% on level 2, and 5% on everything those people are earning from their matrix you receive every single week. I've paused for breath. It's a huge amount of money that you're going to start to. Those that have been in the business now, and I know we've got a lot of people here on the call that are already well established within Leaf and know that you've already got from the 2nd of August all of this slotting into place for you in your business. Now, that should excite you to go out and find
we
more
have
of its
a
own.
lot of people in your group out there who fall between the director and senior director and man, I mean, a lot of people already have a jump start on this, and
Yeah.
that is just like, that's huge, folks. That is just huge.
What you're going to find is that what you're going to log on to your Leaf back office, and when this kicks in on the 2nd of August, your weekly payments are going to start going up and up quite significantly, because those people now that are obviously in your downline, if you've got 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, are now obviously going to start fitting into all these categories of the check match and the uni level, and of course your payments then in your back office are going to start going up. So it's a massive game changer for anybody that has decided, well, I'm just not going to look at this again. You need to get them on the phone. You need to get your teams that are in your downline. Anybody, when you go into your downline and you see they haven't paid their $49, you need to get them in now, because they only need to pay $40 at the moment. On the 2nd, they're going to need to pay $49. If they're obviously still a member and they've joined, they haven't got to pay the $49, but they've got to understand, and you need to explain them or get them to this weekly call and let us explain to them exactly what they're missing out on at the moment, and it's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, and there's one other small change to the matrix which some people don't understand. With this extra income here, if you go back to the matrix, and let me slide back here real quick and see if I can find it here. On the 7th level, some people don't realize how big it is, but there's people on this call now that have quite a few people on their 7th level. They have changed the 7th level from $2 to $3. That's a 33% increase in revenue on your 7th level. That's a pretty big, sizable chunk of money. But what they had to do that, now you must have 5 people to get fully qualified for all 9 levels. 5 is the magic number. Five is the magic number. When you look at it, 5 people. Now you're at director level here. You're fully qualified for the matrix. You actually, at 5 level on a fully qualified matrix, if all slots are filled, I think the calculations are you're getting 25 checks from various sources. 25. They might be $5, $10, $20, but that is going to grow as this company starts to get that momentum that we're seeing now. And folks, I'm here to tell you, the last 6 months has been dead as a doornail. I've been looking at the traffic sources. I know what's out there, and it's been flatlined. And now I am starting to see substantial spikes in hits to anything to do with Leafit. So the traffic is coming. People are starting to get that buzz out there, and that means that means easier to introduce this to people. It opens up a lot of doors, and it's perfect timing for this comp plan change.
Well, you got that, Mike. You're seeing that with traffic. We've got obviously various TV shows and radio shows that are going out now that have been pre-recorded. Lawrence, I know, has done various things here in the States that are going to start going out on NBC and so on, Bloomberg. The other thing, if you haven't picked up on this, is now this is very, very much a team game. If you want to know the answer to making this as successful as you possibly can, the simple answer is you work as a team. The reason that this has been done is to get everybody focused on helping everybody else. And the way that you maximize your check match is to ensure, of course, that if you're bringing 3 people in, that you're keeping in contact with those 3 people, offering them the support and help, getting them back to the weekly calls that Mike does, and there'll be more and more of those going on a daily basis. Corporate will be doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calls a day, so you'll have every opportunity from the business overview to recruitment calls and so on to drive people back to this. And you can start to imagine, and I know obviously most of my team are UK based, but in the States here, There are millions and millions of TV viewers are going to be seeing these programs going out, and people will be joining. It's free, for God's sake, to join, to get the app. And then they're going to be barraged with, why not become an associate? So they downloaded the app, and into that, the corporate office will be sending the messages saying, look, you've got one part of the business. Please, you're enjoying the app and you're taking your photographs and tagging it and making money from the 9 levels of e-commerce sales. But what about the other side of the business? Why not have an at-home business? It's only $149 and you're missing out on all of this. So I think some figures that were banded around, Mike, this week was that we've seen around 235, 240 new users a day now joining, and around 40 paid members joining. I think, would you agree with
Well,
that?
actually, Friday, talking to Billy, they had over 400 join and 75 paid. And because Thursday, Lawrence did a radio show, a money talk show, that they invited him. And when Lawrence is, and, I've had my challenges, these shows, these radio shows, Bloomberg, Fox TV, with Terry Bradshaw, for those in the States know about him, they actually reached out to Leafit. They reached out to the company. It's not like the companies went there begging, can we talk about it, and they're trying to slide through the front door. These companies have contacted Leaf. And guys, I know all of us have been into a lot of different network companies. You can sit back and write them on a sheet of paper. How many of them have been featured on a national TV show, not because they're being shut down and being sued or something, but
And
actually being talked about?
This is going to get bigger and bigger, because what happens with the media is that as soon as one of the
Credibility.
one of the bigger somebody like NBC is going to roll this program out, you're going to find the media are going to watch that. They sit at home watching these things just like you and I. They're going to see it. Then the media, obviously, it just rolls out. It then ends up on every channel. And this is where this thing starts to go viral, because you've got the press that will then jump all over it, all the magazines, you've got all the TV stations, etc. So as soon as these programs start to air, and this is why you need to utilize this. It's a great closing tool to be able to say to people that are not active in your downline at the moment, you need to get onto this now, because if you're not active, all these people, or you're not in the matrix, and you haven't secured that spot, all these people now that are coming in, and I know on the Monday night call they were talking about people that had been in the business 2 or 3 days that had already brought in 21, 22 people. This is really now starting to ramp up, and the reason it's ramping up, well, A, is because the app is about to be launched and it's been much awaited, but most importantly, and B, is the fact that now the compensation plan is such that everybody can earn a lot of money.
The app is being submitted to iTunes here, hopefully this week. And some people go, well, I don't have an iPad. I don't have I don't have an iPhone. Folks, you don't need it. There's going to be a video. You can show that. Now, most of you have been around Leafit for what? A year and a half? The Android is going to be out here in 6 to 8 weeks. That's a hop, skip, and a jump. Some of us got gray hair. 2 months is like 48 hours. You can build this showing some videos on your iPhone of the iTunes video that you can show folks. This is now something you can take and run with and build, because comes late September, for those of you across the pond, come late September, early October, they filmed the show with I want to say I can't think of the name of the show, but it was with Terry Bradshaw. It's a Fox. It's kind of Fox is like Fox News or BBC here in the States. It's one of the 4 national TV shows. It's going to be national TV channels. It's going to be showed late September, early October, and I can guarantee you millions of households will see that. There is going to be an explosion for those people going out there, going to iTunes, looking on Google, going to the search engines, every place that we internet advertisers like to be. And you can be in a position to stick your little fishing net out and capture some of them, or then you can wait and say, well, I should have, I could have, but I didn't have. Folks, right now you can, and getting in position is the boat. If there was ever you're going to miss the boat, this is the boat you can miss. you're
And
going to
Mike, let me
miss it.
just touch on the point that you made and how true it is. You need to get an understanding of the numbers that are going to join once these things air. I was watching in the UK, they call it Dragon's Den. Here they call it Shark Tank, but you'll be familiar with the show. Everybody will, obviously, both sides of the pond. And there was, you may have seen it, but this was the Shark Tank, the US version. And they had an app that somebody had developed for an iPhone. So just, this is a Samsung, but just an iPhone app. And all it simply did was very, very clever, and I downloaded it myself at the time before I moved over to Samsung. It simply allowed somebody to put their phone down on a smooth surface, turn the app on, and the app would basically vibrate the phone and allow it to rotate 360 degrees. So you would balance your phone on its edge, and the app would turn it around like that, and it would basically photograph everything in frames, stitch it all back together again. In other words, you had a 360-degree camera on your iPhone. At the
Wow.
end of the show, within the first day of that airing, they had 230,000 downloads of that app. Now, that is the sort of numbers that you can expect to see in 24 hours once that broadcasts.
And something that didn't share with everyone, folks, is on Monday night. For some reason, they didn't share it. I don't know why. But last Friday, they still have the leaders call. They said anybody, the people who are going to go to iTunes, there was talk about them selling them back to the field as leads. They are going to give them out to the field for free. And everyone is going to be part of that. All you have to do is have 3 people in your matrix that is paid. So if you got 3, you'll be able to. Now these people, and I want to be clear on this so there's no misconception, I personally believe a lot of these people will not be builders. And you want someone who come in and build your team. But you will be getting a lot of people, and that has to do with the IT app and the revenue from that, and people you can talk to about the business. So that explosion is coming. And as Lee said, 250,000 in just a week. I can imagine over a month those people sharing it with their friends. Oh my God, I got this cool app. They're going to work, sharing to people about and that will just grow exponentially. It's quite possible by the end of the year, Leaf would have 1 million people, and I know people just cannot fathom that. But once something goes viral, the real viral that we internet know about, not the hotel meetings of 25 people all of a sudden talking to 50 people, it can go. It can just go crazy numbers, and we can be in a position to take advantage of that.
I think just a point, Mike, for those that may be thinking, well, you keep talking about this app, what the hell is it? In a nutshell, very simply, is most people understand Facebook. We're not going to go into a slide presentation of the app, but the app itself, it's been, well, I don't know, maybe 5 years in development in people's minds, but we've certainly been waiting for it for well over a year. As Mike said, it's going into iTunes, I think, within the next week to 10 days. Very simply, it's going to change the face of social media, where now you can take a photograph. That photograph itself, you can monetize it. You can upload it automatically via the app itself into Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and so on. It's going to be linked to over 20,000 retailers, and it's going to enable you to do 2 things. You can simply tag the picture that you've taken, it posts it, and anybody then out there in the social media world sees it and clicks on it, can ask for a price on that particular item. It searches the internet, gives them the lowest price, and they can buy it instantly. And hey, guess what? You get a commission the minute that they buy it. So from that point of view, that's the power of the app. The great news is it's patented, however you want to say it, and it means that the likes of those companies I've already mentioned don't have it, can't do it. And that in itself, bearing in mind it's completely free to download, is just going to be an extraordinary app that people can get their hands on. Why would you not want to make money from posting content on social media when you do it anyway for free? So there's the change. That's the app. That's what all the excitement's about. And of course, this whole at-home business that's only costing $149 from the 2nd of August moving forward is the second tier to that, where you can generate a very significant residual income on a monthly basis from the slides that we've just shown you.
And I know a lot of folks in here don't like talking about passive income, but if there's ever was something close to passive, I'm saying it, and they don't like it, but this is it, folks. I mean, people shop. Most of you know I was doing webinars and hangouts for the company the last winter, and I was asking people, how often do you buy something online? and people were saying every 60 to 90 days they were buying something online. If this little phone, when Lee has something to get for his wife, and you have something to get for your kids, or something for your brother and your sister, an anniversary present, when the vast majority of people, millions of people out there, instead of going on Google and looking at, can open their phone, tap this little button right here, pull up the cheapest price for an IT app out of 19,000 retailers, this will become the microwave of the internet. And when it becomes the microwave of the internet, the people like us who are in here early will be the Bill Gates of the internet sitting on the beachfronts. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah.
It will. I mean,
And
there's no
I
doubt
know
in my mind.
they did touch on this week on Monday night. You know, we're talking about being able to monetize your pictures, etc., which is great for revenue. They're going to open that up, as Mike's just said, to make it a search tool like Google. But the problem with Google is you want to go and search, I don't know, bicycles on Google. They just bring you a whole load of websites. You've then got to go through and do all your price matching, etc., and it can take you hours to do it. The app will be opened up just as a search tool. So if you want a pair of trainers, or sneakers as we call them over here, then you're going to be able to put those in and be specific about it, or broad match just trainers, or a particular Nike brand if you wish to, and it's going to pull up the cheapest price for you. You're not going to have to search. It's a little bit like, if you're still not clear, it's a bit like what you do with hotels now. So you go to Trivago or Expedia.com or Airfares, where it actually searches all of those for you and gives you the lowest price. This is what the IT app is going to do. So, just think about that. Come away from the monetizing side. As Mike's just said, people are going to use it daily just to search for the cheapest product.
And I know a lot of people you'll see on the company calls are talking about Pinterest and Instagram. Instagram, 150 million people. Pinterest, 75 million people. But I'm sure some people on this call have heard of Snapchat. If you go Wikipedia when you get off here, I would encourage you to go look at Wikipedia. Go to Wikipedia and look up Snapchat. Last April, 3-4 months ago, 500 million pictures loaded to Snapchat in a day. In one day. Every day average. Folks, that's a little bitty app that's only on phones. What do you think people can post those same type of pictures and make money? What do you think the potential people, even if they make $3, people flip out over a 10-cent coupon. Ladies cut them out of the papers. They spend hours cutting out 20-cent coupons. This has the potential to reach places that none of us has even dreamed about. And in a year from now, don't get expectations that this IT app is going to do everything we just said in the first 6 months. It's not. They have video coming. They have messaging. They have a lot of stuff that will rival Facebook in usability, user friendliness. So that tied together with the shopping can make this the premier social network. Can you imagine being the premier social network and you have a slice of that pie?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to touch on the money again, and we'll go to questions, Mike. We talk about figures. It's difficult to get your head around, especially when we talk about 5. You get 5 people who get 5 who get 5, and you run it down 9 levels. I can tell you that's nearly 2 million people when you get to level 9, which is a crazy number. But let's keep it realistic. Let's just go down 4 levels. Let's just say you go out and you're new to the business and you've got this free app to give away, and you can find 5 people that not only get the free app, you'll probably get 105 people who want the free app, that's easy, but 5 of those people decide to join Leafit on the at-home business side for $149. And let's assume that they can all do what you've just done, and you just go 4 levels. So that's 5 who then go out and get 5 who in turn do exactly the same. If you just take the new uni-level payment structure, the first slide that we looked at, that will pay you $3,000 in fast start payments. That's 5 who gets 5, etc. You get $50 for the first, then 10, then 5, and so on. So going down just 4 levels, that'll pay you $3,000 just in the uni-level payment. So you go out and do your job and find your 5, and then work as a team to help those 5 get their 5. You're done. And everybody does the same. $3,000 just on 5 people. It's a lot of money. So just start to then open that up and say, well, what if I could get 10 or 20? The numbers become staggering just on one part of the 4 payment.
Yeah, and folks, when they start getting it, and a lot of everyone here has that unspoken value, we'll call it, and some other reasons, but they're going to be start sharing the advertising dollars. There's so much money on the table here when Leafit becomes established, folks. And for us, there are going to be people, and I said this before, if Leafit hit, and I've said this to Lee last year, if Leafit hits, and now I believe they're in a position, they have stumbled, and they've got it done. They have got it done. And 2 years from now, there'll be people sitting across from the table, and they'll ask you how long you've been with Leafit, and you'll say, oh, a couple of years, and their eyes will light up because they'll know that you were there in the early, and you are getting the zeros in your checks. Because if you started building, and folks, everyone on this call has a chance, and it doesn't cost us any money now. We've already went through the
Guys,
trials and tribulations and the fires.
And
So
I know a lot of you here on the call, and most of you on the call. Please just do yourself a favour. You know, it's been tough enough out here just trying to muddle through this and watch Leafit get themselves turned around and into this position. And I can promise you one thing: I would not be back here talking about the company if I wasn't certain of the financial stability, where they're going, and everything else, etc. And that's been the problem for the last, I
it
don't know,
has. It has.
3 months. It's been promises, and all with great intentions. Don't get me wrong. I think the guys themselves, they've got great intentions, but they've had to put the money that they had, where it counted, which was to get the app launched. Because if the app wasn't launched, there was no business in the first place. But what they've now realised is that through Mike's efforts here and several people saying, look, you've got to change the comp plan. You've got to allow people to build this business for you. You're not going to be able to roll the app out automatically. We've got to be able to spend money and get all of these people that do what we do in marketing the business and growing their teams. But in order to do that, there's got to be a compensation plan to be able to do that. And what I'm just going to urge you to do is don't sit there and wait until these TV programs go to air, because you will be missing out on an exceptional amount of money by then. You need to get on and do it now, and then get all of that spill coming into your matrix and everybody joining beneath you. And then obviously taking the benefit from not only the matrix, but obviously from the check match and from the uni-level fast start bonuses that have now been introduced.
And I want to share this with Lee's team, because you guys, honestly, are a good portion of my team. And I've stuck around here treading water, hoping, praying that one day what has came, that they would actually figure it out and get it done. And I hold webinars, I hold trainings for the UK guys, because right now the company's not doing it. So if you guys need something, working with Lee, working with my group, we hold some afternoon stuff specifically for our friends across the pond. And so it's not going to be you're working against the company. You got to stay up to an ungodly hour to get, to share it with someone. We do have systems in place that help the UK guys and the Australians and folks in Europe. So,
and what I'm going to say to you is, Mike and Jeremy and myself, we're going to get our heads together, and we're going to just look at streamlining everything as far as you having one port of call, one place to go. Mike's done a great job with it, the Superstars group, etc. But we don't want to be posting messages in 15 different places for you guys to have to try and work out where you should be and what time and so on. So we'll get our heads together to make sure this is simple. But everybody, it's here. It's great to see you that you've come on the call, Keith and so on. We'll start going through questions. Sandy's here. Jeremy, my partner in crime, is here as well. So we've got to pick this up now. It's not that now we've decided to do something about it. We haven't been able to do something about it for the very reasons that we mentioned right at the start. There's been no money on the table, and we've been uncertain about payout. That's all changed. Now we've got a business that we can run with. We can give stuff away free, and we're going to get people joining in their droves. It's down to you now to, let's work as a team. Me and my downline, I'll give you as much help as I possibly can, because at the end of the day, I'll be brutally honest with you, the better that you do, the better I'm going to do from check match, etc. And I'll be here to help you with that. And Mike's exactly the same. I sit underneath Mike. And the whole thing is now a team game for everybody to benefit. Let's take some questions, Mike.
Okay, sure. Let's start. I'll start at the bottom. Okay, hello, Mr. Oakley, long time. Hi, no screen for us, no screen. Screen, okay, we're back. Okay, Sandy says she just stopped the $40. Sandy, I hope I understand. I mean, I have been paying, and a lot of folks have been paying that $40, hoping and waiting for the day. And I honestly believe this. And Lee will tell you this. We've had some conversations where I haven't been too up on Leafit, and folks, it has turned around. I see light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming. It's actually some money at the end for everyone on the team, and that's the only reason. That's why I've stepped back from the company. It's just to help people here finally to reach their dreams and why they joined for, and now we have that potential. The Elite Founders Bonus, guys, I don't know. But the Elite Founders Bonus, for those who have that, I'll call it a super early bird bonus. If the company succeeds, which it looks like they're on the verge of succeeding, we all know what we were promised. So,
I'm not going to go into any detail here and create problems for us, but I can tell you there has been a conversation about that in the last week, and it is, I wouldn't say the #1 priority at the moment, but I think long term, because I'm one, and there are a number of us on the call that decided to obviously come in and pay the money and get that status, etc. Obviously, that was prior to a cut-off date, but the company will be dealing with that in the right way from what I've been told.
yes.
There are a number of different ways of addressing it. I can mention stock, I can mention cash payments, I can mention a whole load of things, but it is being dealt with, it is being addressed, as is the back pay on commissions from about to say a word I shouldn't have used then, but from the, let's just say the previous generation. Sales commissions, etc., that are still due. I had a very good conversation with one of the board earlier on this week, and that has been addressed as a priority as the investment and the money starts to trickle in, and it is doing that, I can assure you.
Okay. See where I think. See Mike now. Capture. I pay. What is EFB?
Elite Founders Bonus, is it?
Okay, yes, Elite Founders Bonus. For the Prime Founders and the Power Founders and the Elite Founders, they are going to honor that in various ways. But right now, I'm going to be honest here, folks, their whole primary focus has been getting the IT app. And I don't think most of you were on the call maybe Monday night, but the IT app is now on kind of a holding trend. They don't have that expense because version 1 is coming out. So that lightens the load there now that they can focus on building it and promoting it, and then dealing with the EFBs and the prime and the other founder positions. So so that is important. They've reached that plateau now, and once they get some sustained growth, they will be addressing those issues that Lee just brought up. So I wish I could see I get an error message. I'm not sure why. And you're getting an error message. I have logged out and came back in. I really wanted to hear this tonight. As like many, I've been waiting since Keith has been waiting. Yes, waiting is an understatement. Have you watched the Jumpstart call? Anna has a Jumpstart call that covers a lot of this from Monday. Some good information. Steve, if you're already in and paying your $40 a month and don't need to pay the $49 monthly will just increase. Correct. Steve is asking a good question, Lee, where the $40 we're paying now, come August 2nd, we won't have to pay that $149, right?
Correct.
So everyone understands that.
$149. Everybody that's already in, call it grandfathered in or whatever, you will not be paying the $149. You just will be increased your monthly subscription for your builder package to $49 from your existing $40.
Now, there are some people I know on your group who prepaid in advance at $40 for 4, 5, 6 months. Those people will not be affected till that prepay time expires. If they paid up till August, October, November, whenever, then they will be hit with the new fee. But the prepay people will not have to make up the difference if they. So I don't think you can go hurry up and prepay it now for 3 or 4 months. I'm not sure on that. So someone has already asked that.
What I will say is worth mentioning. Just think about the fact that you can get people in up until the 2nd of August at $40.
Yes.
Just think about that for the moment.
And no $149. Yeah, it's huge.
No $149. Just get them into the business, lock them in, and done. So, you've got to bear that in mind. You've got to understand that if you do bring that forward, there will be no uni-level or fast start bonuses in place until the 2nd of August. So you're kind of working against yourself from that point of view, but think about the bigger picture on the check match. If you get them in now at 40 instead of them having to pay 149 as of the 2nd, it's a great tool to use to get them into the business now, and then they'll start to go out and do exactly the same as you've just done, and you're going to be getting the check match from them.
Steve K has a question. What is get 3, yours free? Does that mean they won't take the 49? No, Steve. What that means is come August 2nd, if you go out, let's say you bring in Lee August 2nd. Lee has to pay the 149. Now for Lee, all he needs to go out is find 3 people himself, and he's automatically cash neutral. He's recovered his whole business, and he's gotten the 149 back because he gets $50 for bringing in people. So it's not so many people go out there, well, I'm paying $149. What do I have to do? How long is it going to take me to get my money back? They like to call it their investment, and it's not an investment, it's a business, but they like to call it that. How long will it get my money back? All you need to do is go out there and find 3. Then you're in this business for free. You've gotten your money back, and they pay it out weekly. So it doesn't. That's what they're talking about, Steve. Keith, wow, looking good. So where is the sales funnel? Without good promotional material, we're never going to get to compete with iTunes. Brian, iTunes and sales funnels are two different, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, are 2 different animals. iTunes are the tire kickers. iTunes are the tire kickers. They're my mom. They're my sister, who you mentioned business opportunity. They take off at the 50-yard dash. You never hear from them again. But there are people out there like us who are very interested in working from home. Those are the people I want to market to. I don't want to market to the person who only wants to sell a pair of shoes to their friend and they have no interest whatsoever. And some people you can't talk to about a business opportunity. They're deaf tone. So having a sales funnel, going out there, I'm not going to compete with iTunes. I can't. I'm going to look for the marketers, the people who want to build, the people who want to take advantage of the unilevel. And that's a completely, to some extent, our own Lee's talking about his sales funnel. The company is coming out with their own sales funnels in 3 weeks. We're probably going to look at them and take a little hybrid of those. Wouldn't you say, Lee? Because they're coming out with new videos.
I think it's probably important to touch on this because the company promised a sales funnel for about nine years, I think. In fact, they've only been going about 18 months. I'm exaggerating. Here I go again. But, I think everybody's sick and tired of hearing about the company sales funnel that just hasn't come to fruition, and we won't get drawn on that, Mike, because I know you had an involvement and tried very hard to get them to approve things, and they were moving the goalposts every time. But let's be clear on the sales funnel. The company is going to have a sales funnel. Now, I couldn't tell you whether it's within 3 weeks, 6 weeks, or 9 weeks because they've got a priority list. They are moving at a hell of a rate now. We've seen the changes. Ron Paul's just been appointed and is heading marketing. I spoke with him this morning. There is some massive momentum going on. But as far as the sales funnel is concerned, it's up to you. I personally wouldn't wait. I see Brian's comment about, is my sales funnel that I have out there still available, and is it compliant? Yes, it is compliant. It's been approved by Leaf, but it needs changing. It needs changing for the 2nd of August because the message is incorrect. The comp plan is incorrect in it. It will be done and changed for the 2nd of August. So those of you that have it, you haven't got to worry about it. It'll automatically be done with a new video presentation in it, with the new comp plan in it. What you use, whether you use mine, whether you use something that Mike and I work on, wait for the company one, entirely up to you. Personally, I would now be trying to get my hands on any sales funnel and starting to spend some money on getting people into this business linked to you because the money speaks for itself. If you look at, let's say it costs you $20 in marketing, cost of acquisition to find one person to join your business and you get paid $50 within the first week, it's a no-brainer. So, I haven't sat and talked with Mike and Jeremy about how we're going to do this going forward, whether we get our heads together and we revamp mine or Mike's, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, all we want is something that works for everybody. That's a conversation we'll be having within the next 48 hours. Those of you that have got the sales funnels, they're still working beautifully. They still convert very well, and I've seen comments to that sort of testament on here already. Those, keep using them. You've got to market them. They're no good having them if you don't spend money. It's not been possible. I'm not pointing the finger. I haven't been marketing mine because it just didn't make sense to do so. Now it's completely different. You can go out and spend $100 with some confidence that you're going to get a result from that and be making money rather than spending money.
Right. Brian asked a question here, and it needs to be addressed. If this is now a free giveaway product, how is the affiliate program still compliant? Well, Brian, the affiliate program is free, so there's never been a compliant issue ever when you give something away free. There is no compliance issue here. Where you might be talking about, and some people ask, well, how is the $49 a month product not compliant? There is a ton of training now. As you saw from the PDF slide, they're giving away a lot of the training is coming from Ron Pope. He is an internet marketer. He has a company he's been involved with that does training for internet marketing. They're giving a wealth of training now outside of our team. Well, our team has always been focused on training. We have been the only group in all of Leafit that's done any training of any kind. But now the other groups are going to start getting some training that focuses on social media, which is good. How to build your business using social media. A lot of people will like that training. And that's good for everyone, because the more successful the company is, obviously, the more success everyone will have. So there's a lot of, I don't want to say another company, but there are companies who focus on training, delivering product as their monthly product, and that's the direction here. Plus, for everyone, Lee, you probably have quite a bit of advertising dollars, don't you, that you've never used?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Guys,
yeah,
do not spend your advertising dollars. I shared this with someone on our call last week. I have $44,000 in advertising. I'm not going to spend it maybe for 6 months, a year, but think about it. In, say, a year from now, and Leafit now has 3 million people in there. Now I'm going to go promote my Leafit. Instead of to my friends, I'm going to use that advertising dollars and promote it to the 1 million people in Leafit. I'm going to promote my leaves or whatever they're called. I'm going to get more commissions from that. That's where your monthly advertising that you guys who've been paying that $40 a month, and you like, well, what the heck am I going to do with this advertising? This is useless. Folks, there's going to be a time, and you've saved it and built it up, it's going to pay some dividends. It's going to give you time to promote your posts, promote your pictures of maybe a $500 riding lawnmower or a $200 pair of sunglasses that you're going to be able to promote beyond what your social network is, and that's going to get you some money back from that advertising. So there's a lot of things coming that we've all been waiting for, and you've heard little rumors of it, and it's like, yeah, when hell freezes over, and hell is about to get chilly. So
let me just touch on advertising, Mike, because it's just obviously since we've been quiet for some time, and there's been a lot of things bandied around, and it's inevitable. And I'm not going to get into a negative scenario, but we've heard scenarios of Lee and Jeremy have gone out of the scene because they were only interested in selling traffic. I can promise you one thing we never want to do, and that's sell traffic, because it costs us a bloody fortune. And we ended up, losing a significant amount of money on administering all of your traffic requirements and so on. So going forward, in a positive note, we're going to be selecting different forms of traffic that we know works. Mike and I were talking about something yesterday. Jeremy and I were talking about something yesterday. So we're going to be trying and testing these methods for ourselves. And we're simply, obviously, if we find that they're working very well, I said this is a team game. We're simply going to tell you what we're doing and what's working for us. Now, if you all suddenly decide that you want to do it and you haven't got to go through that testing and expensive process of trial and error yourself, then we're happy to share that with you. That doesn't mean to say we're going to do it for you or book it for you. We might get into the realms of co-ops again, but what we're not going to do is try and take away and start to run a whole load of traffic scenarios, which ended up costing us a lot of money. And I can assure you it wasn't the reason we went quiet. I told you the reason right at the start, and for those of you who joined us halfway through, it's the fact that we could not make money by marketing Leaf as a business, and we could not sit with all credibility in front of somebody and tell them to do that, knowing what the consequences were going to be. That has now changed. So hi, here I am. I'm back.
Yeah, guys, some of you, a few of you, were on a co-op I did in March with Mike Green. And I'm just going to say this. I had about 20 people wanted some traffic. We went out there and bought some traffic. Leaf was going through the challenges. I collected $2,000. I have lost about $4,500 trying to get guys. No, no. I will share with you. Here's some traffic. Here's some people that I've gotten 10%, 20%. Here's a name. Here's an email. Here's the funnel I'm using, and I'll put you in contact. And that's the way we're going to do it. But at the end of the day, Lee, wouldn't you say that is probably trials and tribulations the fastest way to build your business
Oh
if
yeah,
it pays? And now
yeah,
it
absolutely.
does.
It's a no-brainer. As soon as you know what your cost of acquisition is, what it's costing you to get one person to join the business, you can multiply it out. Because if you know it's only costing you $19 and you make 50 every time somebody joins, well, you want to do it in the thousands, don't you? Because that's just the way it works. So, we're going to do that. Jeremy, myself, Mike, we're going to get our heads together on what we're going to do. Try some things that have been very successful before, using the sales funnels that are already out there at the moment until we've either put something together that's better. We'll keep trying testing. We might, as Mike said, take a hybrid out of the corporate one, mix the two together, who knows. But all we're going to do, we're not interested whether they're mine or the company's or Mike's, we're interested in what works best. And if that means that we can come to you with better results and give you some indication on what we're doing that's successful, it's a team game. I keep saying it. This is now change. This is now us helping you to help others. And the more we do that, the easier it's going to become. And I see Keith's put a mention in there. What about those people we brought in with a lot of money who have lost faith in the company? Well, Keith, I'm in exactly the same situation. I've got a lot of people in my downline that are unpaid. This is a fresh start. I'm going to go out to every single person that I've got below me, speak to them, and get them to understand what's gone on, what's happened, and now what they can do moving forward. Now, if they decide it's not for them, that's absolutely fine, but they should at least have the information to base their decision upon. And that's the way we're going to approach it. I think we've covered the Elite Founders spot. As far as reactivating there, I don't think anything's changed specifically. I think my understanding of it was, with regards to the Elite Founders monthly payment, was that if you are not current on your builders package, you cannot expect to receive your Elite Founders monthly
No, it does
payment.
not go retroactive. No. And guys, they have not been paying the Elite Founders. It's still accumulating in the queue. And I'll be honest with you, in February we had a rev one. March it shrunk. April it got tiny. May it was minuscule. End of June, I saw a 25% increase. And that told me right then that the company had turned a corner, because it's been shrinking every month, and now all of a sudden there's a jump. It actually was 32% increase. That told me the company grew. For the first time since February, the company grew. And that just points to that they are now on stride, that momentum is coming. And it might be 4 or 5 months before the Elite Founders start getting paid. I honestly believe, and they are going to pay that. They just don't want to take the reserves, and it takes a lot of money to do what they're doing, pay the Elite Founders, and not be able to pay a programmer to fix a bug in the app. That has always been, they've told this from day one. The app has to come to the field for anyone to have a chance, or everyone loses everything. And that's always been their position. And now they've gotten there. I'll give them that. They, trials and tribulations, and a lot of us have been in that position. And and Keith asked a good question, Lee. How about all the people who brought in all that money that I've talked to? Well, guys, I've been above you. I've been on those hangouts telling you guys. So, I'm here to make sure you guys are successful. And that's why the only reason I have stuck around, because I felt I owed it to everyone to at least give everyone a fair chance to make it. And now I believe we have that chance for everyone to make some bank.
And guys, if you're going to come out of this, look at the money side. The slides are available. I can forward the PDF slides, etc., to people because they're from corporate. They came through from corporate this morning. They made some final touches. There's a couple of spelling errors in there that they've got to create. or correct. But you know, we're going to be spending time with people that now want to take this seriously. So you know, please don't, if you're not going to get on board with this, fully respect that. That's entirely up to you. But those of you who've got a massive opportunity here in front of you now, with a stable business, with a real product, that is going to be very, very easy to grow. And of course, we're going to spend our time directly with our team. As I said, it's about now helping the team below us with those people that want to do exactly the same thing. The more effort you want to apply in, we've got some, you know, very successful people here, and I have to say, hats off to you. Some of you have stuck with it and stayed in the forefront and promoted Leaf right the way through this period. That wasn't something I was comfortable in doing. 10 out of 10 for doing exactly that, and you're probably about to reap the benefits from doing exactly that. But we're here to help. It is a team effort, and we'll be getting back to you within the next few days just on maybe some revisions on where to go on a weekly basis, and how we're going to start blowing this thing up globally.
Jeremy has a question. On Monday Night Call, Ron Pope has one of the trainings. It's called an online certified marketer. And he said that is going to be offered to the people who are coming in, and it's going to be in the back office, part of the 149. But we, as grandfathered or whatever you're going to call it, will have access to that training, Jeremy. And really, that is some leverage. You can use that when you're talking to people, because social media, I'm telling you, is huge right now in every aspect of local businesses, online businesses. They're looking for social media exposure. And that's what's going to give Leafit, I believe, the edge, because we are the only social media platform out there that is paying people. So I think that's just huge. Keith, what about all this? Okay, Lee covered that. Okay, Lee, words of wisdom to close us out.
Well, words of wisdom. You know, if you take nothing out of, nothing other than what I've said. You know, we're back. We're here. Something's brought us to this point again. Both Mike, myself, Jeremy. You know, we've got a business model and a pay plan. The bottom line for me is, you know, I'm prepared to put in 23 hours a day if necessary to building something, providing financially it stacks up. We're now at a point with the announcement on Monday evening, the slides that we've presented to you today, that this business now does exactly that. We've got the momentum of the app about to come out, and those two together to be able to give something away free that everybody uses on a daily basis, and then make money from it in 4 different ways, either via the app or from the at-home business, I think is huge. And I think back about all the businesses that we've looked at or been involved in over the last 2 or 3 years, and I don't think there's anything out there that is this easy. I really don't. And you've got an opportunity now to make a decision whether or not you go back, leave the deadwood below you and not even bother to contact them, or actually do what I'm going to do, which is speak to every single person, get hold of them until I've relayed the information to them, get them back in the frame, and get them to understand what they've got in front of them. And that one person may then just go out and bring you 100. And what is that worth in your check match?
And
Last
Paul,
words
the
to you,
PSV, the AV is still in effect for those elite founders. That's the 5th way we're going to benefit from this, or the 6th way in that regard. So yes, Paul, but I would say challenge everyone here. You are going to get some blowback when you go to your team and your downline, but I think you owe it to them. And I reached out to Lee, and I reached out to Vincent, and I've reached out to the people. Guys, I've sponsored 18 people. 4 of them are still stuck around. But I am going to reach out to all 18 people because I owe that to them. Because I got them in, and I want to show them that, you know, Leafit, in my opinion, now has reached a turning point, and I want to make you aware of, so you can't say, well, Mike, you didn't tell me. I don't want them coming back saying, you didn't tell me. You told me before, now you didn't tell me when they got turned around, blah, 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 blah. I could hear it now. So I'm going to have my conscience clear. I've told them, here's what it is. You make a decision now.
And what's the worst that can happen, guys? They turn around to you and say, no, thank you. Well, that's up to them entirely. But, you know, you need to make sure you're precise. Send them the slides. Let them see the pay plan. Let them know the app's about to happen, about to go live. And, you know, who wouldn't want to give away a free app?
I'll say this to anyone: if most of you have my Skype name or Leaf has, if you want me to help talk to them and explain what I know, not from a company point of view, because those days are over. Never again will I step into the company limelight. It's just my focus is honestly, you guys make money, then I make money. It rolls uphill. So I needed to start rolling uphill. So I got to help you guys make money, and
And
that's
don't
my sole focus.
overcomplicate it, guys. You know, don't try and maybe explain everything that we've gone through with you today. Just get them on a call. Just say, look, I know things obviously didn't work out. You spent some money, but I can tell you things have changed dramatically. Just do yourself a favor for the money that you've spent. Give us 15 minutes on this call on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever night it is. Listen in. And if it's still not for you, you won't be hearing from me again, not a problem. But I think you're going to love what you hear. Then let everybody else put the information across on your behalf. You haven't got to explain it 15, 16, 20 times. Just get them back to the call and let the call do it for you. And I'm pretty sure that the majority of people, maybe 50, 75% of those people, will decide that they want to get back on board with us.
Right, because we all saw the dream, or they wouldn't have joined back then. We were just disappointed that it was taking so long and the challenges. Everyone saw the dream, or they wouldn't have joined. Now that dream is about to happen, and I had doubts some morning when I thought I'd never see that day. And guys, it's here, and I'm happy to say that thanks to you guys out there who stuck around, and the ones who came today, the guys on this call today, you came here with, I hope, an open mind, and that's all we ask. So you can make an informed decision if this is something for you. And I think Lee has explained it beautifully. Now there's money on the table for you guys, and I know a lot of you did marketing. And when you go out and get 20 people and you make $40, it's hard to justify it. And now you get 20 people, you're at the top of the plateau in this program, and you're so it's changed from night and day. So thanks, Lee, for coming. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
We will be holding this out, and we will get a hold of Lee to see what we can do to help you guys any way, shape, or form I can. So now let me know. Skype me. Get a hold of Lee. You need me to share some information with one of your downlines. I don't care how important they are to you, or they're so far down. I will help you. I will talk to them as if they're the biggest builder in the world. I will give them the time they deserve, because they deserve the time to hear what's out there. So let me know, and if it's 3 in the morning, it's 3 in the morning. So, okay, Lee, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
I appreciate your team coming, and everyone have a great day.
Speak soon.